Dear soul, something deeply unexpected happened recently. Something small in action but enormous in meaning. Someone looked at your photo, and instead of simply glancing, they zoomed in, not to criticize or mock, but because something within your image stirred something powerful inside them. They couldn't explain what they felt, but as they looked closer, something sacred was recognized. A few whispered words followed, and suddenly, the whole room went silent. The air shifted, as if the world itself paused. That silence wasn't empty. It carried weight, not of judgment, but of awe, of recognition, of something divine that had been revealed without warning. The angels were there, witnessing the whole moment. They saw how your soul trembled at being seen so closely, so unexpectedly. You might have felt exposed, almost fragile, as if the air itself had become sharp enough to cut. That silence after the words felt heavy, almost painful. You may have wondered if people saw something wrong in you, if you had done something to cause that reaction. But the angels say this: that silence was not an insult. It was reverence. It was the sound of truth revealing itself in a room not ready for it. For so long, you have walked through this world misunderstood, not because you are strange or flawed, but because you carry a light most people do not know how to interpret. You shine with a quiet power that unsettles those who have hidden from their own truth. The angels have seen how you've been pierced, not by physical harm, but by the way people's glances, whispers, and judgments have tried to reduce your essence. They've seen you walk away with a smile even when your heart felt like it was bleeding from invisible wounds. You have carried these stings silently, pretending not to care, when deep down, the pain still echoed. But now, dear child, heaven is asking you to pause and remember who you really are. You are not the judgment that others cast upon you. You are not the discomfort someone feels when faced with your truth. You are a reflection of divine artistry. Every part of you, every feature, every expression, every line on your face was shaped by the Creator with love and intention. When someone looked at your face and said something that cut deep, it was not your light that was flawed. It was their own reflection of pain that spoke. The silence that followed was not shame. It was the realization of divine power revealed through you. The angels want you to understand that this moment, even though it may have hurt, was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to awaken you. It was a reminder that your worth is not defined by how others see you. You have lived through betrayal, rejection, and exposure, but none of that can define your story anymore. This is not an ending. It is a beginning. The version of you that sought approval, that believed worthiness depended on being untouched by judgment, is fading away. What rises in its place is your true, strong, and radiant self, the one who no longer hides to be accepted. Yes, you may still feel the ache of that moment, the sharp edge of those words, but the angels say, child, that was the sound of your old self being laid to rest. You are stepping into a season where you will rise from pain, not with bitterness, but with quiet power. You no longer need to prove your value. You are learning to live in your truth without apology. The dawn is breaking for you. The light on the horizon is not mourning your past. It is celebrating your rebirth. When they spoke those shocking words, it wasn't truly about you. Sometimes people project their hidden pain onto the light of others. They see something in you, something genuine, something alive, and it makes them uncomfortable because it reminds them of what they lost or buried long ago. Your radiance exposes what they've denied in themselves. That's why some people react with cruelty or confusion when faced with your authenticity. But the angels say, Do not let their fear become your mirror. Let your healing be your reflection instead. Let your compassion speak louder than their misunderstanding. When you look in the mirror, don't see yourself through the eyes of those who failed to value you. See yourself as heaven sees you, radiant, complete, and holy. Every morning, when your eyes meet your reflection, remind yourself that your face is kissed by divine light. The same light that the angels recognize as one of their own shines through you. You are not broken. You are becoming. And though echoes of that day may still whisper in your mind, speak to yourself with the authority of heaven. I was never too much. I was never not enough. I am made of light. I walk in love. I am seen and blessed by God. Let this be your new truth. Your rebellion against all that sought to silence you, let it be your rising. And if tears still fall in private moments, if your laughter sometimes hides your pain, know that the angels have seen it all. They know the quiet nights when you questioned your worth, when you wondered if something about your appearance or spirit made you unlovable. They are here now to undo that lie. Your face, your energy, your presence. They all hold the poetry of lifetimes. You carry wisdom far beyond your years, warmth that melts coldness, and a spirit that heals simply by existing. Nothing about you needs to change to be worthy of love. The angels want you to remember. The face that someone once zoomed in on with judgment is the same face that heaven touches with light each morning. The same face that ancestors dreamed of. The same one that carries divine lineage. You are not just seen by angels. You are recognized by them. You are one of them, walking this earth in human form, learning to love despite the pain. So walk forward now with calm confidence. You are not cursed. You are consecrated. Your pain has refined you. It has transformed your heart into sacred ground where only truth can grow. The breaking was never to destroy you. It was to awaken your power. The silence that followed that shocking moment wasn't emptiness. It was sacred awe. It was the universe inhaling in the presence of your truth. Dear one, the angels are still with you, holding you softly. They know how much power a single glance can hold. How one look, one word, one pause can stir memories, reopen wounds, or awaken forgotten feelings. When someone zoomed in on your photo and spoke something that silenced everyone, it reached deep into your heart, touching a place you thought was protected. But what they truly saw wasn't just your features. They saw the entire story of your soul. And that story, dear child, is one of love, resilience, and sacred beauty. You have loved deeply. You have given your heart without knowing how it would be received. You have shown compassion to those who couldn't offer the same in return. You have held others through their storms even when you were drowning quietly in your own. The angels say that this love, this generosity, is what makes you sacred. It is why your face holds such deep meaning when others see it, because your energy carries truth, history, and light that most people can't describe but can deeply feel. Sometimes, when people see you, they are reminded of love they lost or moments they regret. Sometimes your presence stirs emotions they tried to bury. That's why someone might have spoken words that felt cruel or sudden. They weren't prepared for what your energy awakened in them. In your face, they might have seen a bond from the past, a connection that was once real but is now silent. The angels want you to know that your love, your energy, your presence still lives in people's hearts long after they've left your side. You are not forgotten. Someone, somewhere, still feels your presence when they close their eyes. Your image brings them peace and pain all at once because it reminds them of something true. You are not invisible. Dear child, your love has left marks on souls that even time cannot erase. The angels are saying that your love, though it may have changed form or ended, was never wasted. It was divine. It awakened someone else's soul and taught you how powerful your heart truly is. This moment, though painful, was also a reminder that you are seen, not just seen by people, but remembered by heaven. That silence after the shocking words was not emptiness. It was memory echoing through space, acknowledging that your soul carries something eternal. The angels are now calling you to shift your focus, to stop seeing this as a moment of humiliation and start seeing it as revelation. What happened wasn't meant to break you, but to remind you of how powerfully you love and how deeply you give. It's time to honor that part of yourself, to stop apologizing for your heart. You were not made to forget love. You were made to grow from it. Every connection, even those that ended painfully, were teachers sent by the divine to shape your compassion and wisdom. Now is a time for deep healing, not just between you and others, but within yourself. It's time to forgive the parts of you that stayed too long, that gave too much, that didn't know when to let go. You did those things because you believed in love, and that is something to honor, not regret. So let the silence that followed that shocking moment become sacred space. Let it be where truth finally breathes freely. Look into your reflection now and see not a face that needs fixing, but a face that has survived, that has loved, that has become wise through pain. Every tear you shed, every scar you carry, every smile you've worn despite sorrow, they've all shaped you into the radiant being you are now. You are not defined by what was said about you, but by the love that lives inside you. You are defined by your spirit, by your resilience, by your courage to keep shining even after being misunderstood. The angels whisper now, you are love, you are worthy, you are seen, you are not invisible, and you never were. Every kindness you've offered, every time you've given when no one was watching, has been seen by heaven. The divine has recorded every act of love, every silent prayer, every moment you helped others while hiding your own pain. Nothing was in vain. When that person looked at you and said those words, maybe for the first time, they saw how much you've given. They saw the quiet strength in your eyes, the exhaustion behind your smile, and the unspoken history of all the love you've poured into others. Their reaction was not about your flaws. It was about being overwhelmed by your truth. Now, the angels say, balance is coming. You are entering a new chapter where the energy you've given out will finally return to you. You are not meant to live your life constantly pouring from an empty cup. You are meant to receive. You are meant to be loved, cared for, and honored, not just for what you give, but for who you are. It's time, dear one, to stop overgiving to those who do not pour back into you. It's time to protect your energy as sacred. You deserve relationships where love flows both ways, where your presence is not examined for weakness, but celebrated for beauty. The angels are preparing connections for you that will reflect your light back to you, not diminish it. As you move forward, lift your head high, not in pride, but in remembrance. Remembrance of your sacred worth, of all you've overcome, of all the love that still lives in you. You have never been too much or not enough. You have always been exactly what heaven intended, a soul of depth, light, and love. Now open your heart, beloved child. The angels are saying, it is your turn to receive. The universe is ready to give you the same tenderness you've given others. Your season of silent giving is ending. A new season of divine receiving begins now. You are loved. You are whole. And no one, no word, no moment, no silence can ever dim the light that God placed within you. Dear child, the angels know how deeply that moment touched something inside you. It wasn't just about what was said. It was about everything those words awakened. The room changed when they zoomed in on your face. The air grew still. It was as though time itself paused to listen. You could feel eyes on you, but not in the ordinary way. This wasn't simple curiosity. It was something deeper, something spiritual. It was as if the veil between your outer world and your inner truth had been lifted, and suddenly everyone could sense what had been quietly hidden inside you for so long. The angels watched as the moment unfolded, when those unexpected words were spoken, when silence filled the room, and when your heart dropped in quiet disbelief. They saw the shock in your expression, but they also saw something more sacred behind it. Recognition. Recognition of all the memories, the wounds, and the love that still lived within you. That silence wasn't empty. It was full of emotion, full of divine presence. Heaven leaned closer because your soul had just been seen, truly seen, in a way it hadn't been in years. You may not have realized it then, but the moment someone's gaze met yours and their words pierced the stillness, something ancient within you began to awaken. The angels say it was not meant to embarrass or expose you. It was meant to reveal you. Your face reflected not just what you were feeling in that instant, but also the entire journey of your soul. The pain you've carried, the strength you've built, and the beauty that has remained despite everything you've survived. The angels know that those words touched a tender place inside you, a part of your heart that has long held unspoken grief. Maybe the comment reminded you of being unseen or misunderstood before. Maybe it opened old wounds, moments when your kindness was overlooked, when your love was not returned, or when you felt invisible in rooms you were meant to light up. It might have felt as though those words stripped away the layers you had so carefully built to protect yourself. But, dear one, the angels want you to understand something sacred. That moment was not about shame. It was about truth. The truth is that you have carried great sorrow in silence. You have loved people who didn't know how to love you back. You have given deeply, quietly, and selflessly, often without recognition. You have carried the memories of what could have been, the regrets of what was lost, and the ache of love that never fully returned home. And yet, despite all this, you have remained open. You have continued to feel. You have continued to care. That is not weakness. That is your divine strength. The angels say your tears are sacred. The pain you felt in that moment wasn't a step backward. It was a release. It was the universe's way of inviting you to finally bring your hidden emotions into the light. The tears you've held back for years. Those tears are prayers your heart has been trying to speak. Let them fall. Let them heal what has been aching for closure. Because, dear one, grief unspoken becomes weight, but grief expressed becomes freedom. The words that were spoken, whether they were meant kindly or not, carried divine purpose. They brought to the surface everything that needed to be seen, felt, and finally understood. They exposed the depth of your soul, the compassion that has been both your gift and your ache. What others saw as vulnerability, heaven saw as sacred honesty. Maybe they noticed the sadness behind your smile, the love still alive in your eyes, or the fatigue of a heart that has carried too much for too long. Maybe they saw the softness that you've tried to protect. Whatever they saw, it made them pause. not because you were weak, but because your truth was undeniable. They felt the presence of someone who has walked through fire and emerged with light in their eyes. The angels whisper now that your sorrow is not a sign of defeat. It is the mark of a soul that has lived deeply. Your emotions are not flaws to be hidden. They are proof that your spirit is still alive, still open, still human. In a world that often chooses numbness, your ability to feel is divine. The angels celebrate you for that. They see the beauty in your tears and the wisdom in your wounds. They see that you have not let bitterness harden you. You have remained tender, even when life gave you reasons not to be. And now, they say, it is time to lift your gaze. For too long, you have focused on what was lost, the spilled cups of love, the endings that hurt, the words you never got to say. But behind you are still full cups, new opportunities, new love, new joy waiting to be discovered. What you have lost does not define you. What you still carry within, compassion, courage, and faith, is what makes you whole. The angels remind you that healing does not mean forgetting. It means transforming the pain into wisdom. The moment that silenced the room was not meant to break you. It was meant to awaken you, to remind you that your story is still being written, and that what others saw in that instant was not your weakness, but your power. Heaven calls that moment the unveiling, for in that silence, you are no longer invisible. The layers of old pain, quiet endurance, and hidden longing lifted, and what remained was truth, raw, pure, holy truth. Your presence revealed the kind of beauty that cannot be hidden, the beauty of survival, of empathy, of resilience. The angels say this was a divine signal, the closing of one cycle and the opening of another. You are no longer meant to live in the shadows of what was. You have completed something important, not just in this lifetime, but in your soul's long journey through lessons and lifetimes. The pain that resurfaced was not a setback. It was a sign that your heart is ready to be cleared, healed, and reborn. Now begins your season of visibility. You are no longer the silent one in the background, the steady giver who carries others while no one carries you. You are being brought into the light, not for fame or attention, but for divine purpose. Your story, your compassion, your strength, they are meant to be seen because they carry healing for others. You are becoming a mirror of divine truth, a living reminder that even the gentlest soul can hold incredible power. You may wonder why your presence sometimes stuns people into silence. The angels explain that when people see you, they feel the weight of your energy, not in a heavy way, but in a way that commands reverence. They are witnessing someone who has healed through love instead of bitterness, someone who has remained kind even when life was not. That kind of purity humbles the room. It quiets even the loudest voices because truth always silences noise. That moment, dear one, was not humiliation. It was coronation. Heaven chose that stillness to declare that your time of invisibility is over. You no longer need to shrink to make others comfortable. You no longer need to hide your emotions out of fear of being misunderstood. You are stepping into a phase of life where your authenticity will speak louder than any words. Your light will open doors. Your gentleness will attract strength, and your truth will inspire others to awaken their own hearts. Do not let the shock or discomfort of that moment linger as shame. Let it become your turning point. Let it remind you of how far you've come, from the person who once doubted their worth to the soul who now stands whole. You are not broken. You are becoming. The silence that followed was the world's way of catching its breath in the presence of someone who carries divine light. The angels say that in the days ahead, you will begin to feel shifts around you. People will treat you differently. Some will approach you with softness, others with awe, and some with confusion. This is not because you've changed suddenly. It's because they're finally seeing what was always there. Your spirit has matured, your energy has risen, and your presence now reflects divine completion. You are being recognized on a soul level. This is the beginning of your new chapter, one where love will no longer drain you, but refill you. One where your nurturing heart will finally be met with care, respect, and reciprocity. One where your emotions will be honored, not dismissed. You will no longer carry everyone else's pain alone. You will be surrounded by those who help you heal. The angels encourage you to stop apologizing for your light. Stop dimming it to protect others from their own discomfort. You are not too much. You are exactly what this world needs. A reminder that strength and softness can exist together. That vulnerability is not weakness. It is power wrapped in truth. Every time you have chosen to stay kind when it would have been easier to close off, heaven took notice. Every time you forgave without apology, every time you smiled through your tears, every time you gave without expecting return, those moments have been recorded as acts of divine love. That is what people saw in your face. That is what silenced the room. You are the living reflection of a soul that has completed a sacred cycle. From pain to peace, from silence to recognition, from invisibility to presence. You are not who you once were. You have become the lesson, the wisdom, and the blessing all at once. The angels say, do not look back anymore. The past has served its purpose. Let the tears you shed become blessings. Let the silence that once felt heavy become sacred space for rebirth. Let your face, once examined with shock, now shine with pride, because what the world saw in that moment was the truth of your soul. And the truth is beautiful. So now, walk forward in your fullness. Let your softness be seen. Let your story be heard. Let your presence change rooms not with noise, but with peace. You are no longer waiting to be chosen. You have already been chosen by heaven. You are no longer asking to be seen. You are being revealed. You are no longer trying to prove your worth. You are embodying it. The angels wrap their wings around you now, whispering, you are loved. You are seen. You are rising. That moment of silence was the universe bowing before your strength. It was not the end of your story. It was the divine beginning of everything you were meant to become. You are not just the one who gives. You are the one who now receives. You are not just the healer of others. You are now being healed. You are not just a soul remembered by heaven. You are heaven's reflection on earth. And so, beloved child, lift your head, take a deep breath, and step forward with grace. The past no longer defines you. The light within you has spoken, and the world is finally listening. You are whole. You are worthy. You are free. And now, you rise, not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be.